you, it is Sunday school and it is snowing. I just can't, I'm so excited. We got up super early this morning and we had our morning cup of tea in bed, just watching huge, great big snowflakes come down outside the bedroom window. Absolutely glorious. And then straight away Gilbert came up and we've been outside playing snowballs, having a bit of a fight. The funniest thing about it was our 16-year-old really didn't even notice it at all. And Gilbert and I were lobbing snowballs at his bedroom window, didn't even wake up. Look, can you see it? I'm going to show you the back garden. Can you see? It is a blanket of snow. You can't even see the circle of the lawn at all. I'm so glad that we cut so many things back yesterday and put tons and tons of mulch just everywhere. So have you got snow? Have you got snow where you are? Let's just have a quick look. Good morning to everybody. Jules of the Garden, morning to you. Nice to see you. Hey there, Shane and Jack, make the world a beautiful place. Huge snowflakes with you there, Sarah Phillips. I saw someone say that it's a winter wonderland in London. Hey Nick, the Distinctive Garden, nice to see you. Oh, I know. I hope you all get it because I have to say, it has been really wonderful seeing Gilbert just feeling so very happy that he's got something to play in because they are all sort of at home, aren't they? He's 11 and it's just really, really brightened up our day with, you know, what is everyday magic, isn't it? It really is. Snow in London is a rarity, says Annie. It really is. Hard frost with you there up in Yorkshire. Yes, in Sudbury, Mary Guy 6. Yes, in Southampton, Jaws of the Garden. I saw that poor Mike didn't have any, which is a shame. Yes, you've got it in Berkshire. So no snow there with you, back garden flowers. Hello there, Kate Allen. Good to see you. Snow there with you, Linda Sunset. Really lovely to see you. Kept on getting up in the night to have a look. I was so excited last night. Could barely sleep. Driving Jules mad, tossing and turning, just saying, do you think it's going to snow? Do you think it's going to snow? So straight after the live today, we are going to go for a walk in it. And I think we should all do that. Yeah, so right, what am I doing today though? Well, quite exciting. I've got some new toys and I've decided that I'm going to be very measured and start off a few seed, and I really do mean a few, and I'll tell you for why as we get into it. But I'm going to show you, last night I did a bit of sorting actually here, and please just to remind you that if you've got any questions, please do put them into the question box because I'd love to answer them for you. So there's a little question box bottom right hand corner, so shove them in there. Chrissy Crown, you're kneading bread. Oh, I'd love some of your bread. Just put them into the question box and we'll come to those and I'll answer as many as I can. But last night I ordered I arranged some of my seed with a glass of vino. So I've got a box of vegetable seed. Shall I show you? Shall I show you? There. That's the vegetable seed. I know it's a bit naughty, but I'm having a lot of fun with this. So, and as you know, last year was the first time in years that I got back into seeds. So these are perhaps my most exciting. So these are Wild Boar Farms. I got them from She Grows Veg, the tomato queen. I'm not going to be sowing tomatoes yet. They will be waiting until the end of February, the beginning of March. But just gorgeous little seed in there. So, and what have I got here? I've got Atomic Sunset tomato seed. What else have I got? They're stuck. Here we go, they're stuck. So if I do this, you can actually see them. So for tomatoes, and I'm not going to sow these until the end of February, beginning of March earliest, because I just don't have a greenhouse and my zippy is just not hardy enough for these tender babies to go out there. So, and I'll tell you my plans in a tick. So I want to be really measured with my approach and do sort of successional growing. You can see here I've got Barry's Crazy Cherry, I've got Summer of Love, Black Beauty, Blue Beauty and Atomic Sunset. So, and I got those from Lucy Hutchins, She Grows Veg. I don't know what she's got in stock because as soon as I saw that she was getting stuff over from Wild Boar Farms, I bought them straight away and got them sent to work, to the office, which I miss. So those ones I'm super excited about, but they will wait for a while. And then should I show you all of my seeds that I've got here for my annuals and biennials? Can I get the lid off? Here we go. They're all in there. So I've split them up. So I've got my vegetable seeds and my herbs together, and I've got all my annuals and biennials in another tin. And they will stay in this tin now until at least Valentine's Day. And that is because they're not hardy, most of them. I've got all my hardy annuals in the zippy. And if I put them out there now, they're just going to die. They'll all become etiolated. I know, Darren, I am as bad as you. And it's going to be a mad panic to try and just keep them alive. So we don't have the light levels at the minute to be sowing all of these. So I would hold fire on all of your cosmos, all of your zinnias, all of those sort of things, unless you've got a greenhouse. But even then, you will be potting up and I think struggling to sort of manage them as they all come up at once. So what I am sowing today is, I'll show you, my cabea. So, and I'm going to show you a picture actually, if I can. Let's have a look. Where are the pictures? Let's see. Where have they always changed this? I need my glasses on. That would help. So my cabeas. So here we go. Here's the pictures. These glasses are filthy. So my cabea, because last summer I sowed these super, super late. So, and as you know, I was panicking rather about if I'd get any flower at all. But I did get a few. So, and that was wonderful, but I'm determined that this year I'm going to get them going a little bit earlier. So that is my cabea, and I've already sown those, and I'll show you how I've done it. And then I'm going to sow my antirrhinum, all my snapdragons. So I'm going to show you these. So I'm sowing. This is a real bit of a kind of, you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. So, but I thought I'd give it a chance. And this is antirrhinum, Major's Potomac Dark Orange. So what do you think of that? The orange and pink together. So I'm going to have a go of that. And I'm going to mix it, I think, with this one. So and that one is Antirrhinum Majus Liberty Lavender. So there we go. So I'm rather a fan of that. And you know how much I love my deep velveties. So this one here is Antirrhinum Majus Black Prince. So those are the annuals that I'm going to be sowing today. So, and I'm only sowing those because they really take a long time to get going, a bit like the cabea. Thank you. You really like the look of those, Scott. So thank you very much. Gorgeous. So those are the three that I'm going to grow today. And then I'm going to sow some microgreens, some coriander. I'm going to try and entice Gilbert. I'm on a losing battle with this though, because he is all about the snow. Some cress. Thought that would be fun for him. And I am going to sow a bit of English basil, but this is all for inside. And then, and I'm very excited about this, is I'm going to sow some aubergines. Very naughty, aren't they, these on Instagram? I mean, a completely different thing, but to me, it's all about the plants. So this one is aubergine jackpot. And this is apparently, it's from King Seeds. Apparently it's perfect for a small garden. Dark purple fruits, cropping over a long period, and you can grow them in a pot. So I'm very excited about those. So I shall be sowing those. And then I'm growing aubergine moneymaker. And this apparently is a super reliable one for the UK to grow outside. Because as you know, I don't have a glass house. And the reason why I'm growing these now is because these and the antirrhinum and the cabea, look what I've got. I have got my heated propagator. Look, it arrived from Garland. It's on the grid under my favourite garden products if you want to have a look at it. So the pot one, someone has asked, I'll just tell you now, but do put your questions into that little box. The pot one is called Jackpot. Jackpot, quite easy to remember that one, isn't it? But I've got my heated propagator. So it means that all of these more sort of tricky seeds to get going without a greenhouse and in the low light levels, they will get some bottom heat. I'm going to show you how I have set it up. I really like this because in a small garden, you can see, and I haven't done this one, we're going to do it together. You can see how weeny these are. So it means that I can't go too mad because last year I was literally sowing the whole seed packet. And there were so many tomato seedlings, which was lovely when people took them away on my driveway at one point. I just don't want to waste the seed and also create more work for myself. So this means that I really can't go too crazy with the amount of seeds that I sow. So I'm going to take all of these off because I just want to show you how I've got this set up because I think this is quite interesting. This is the first time I've used it. It was probably about 40 quid, maybe 42, maybe 41. But it's an investment and I think it's going to last me for a very long time. So, oh, it's a bit like this feels. I can feel the heat. Oh, it's lovely. It's a bit like, it's not as warm as an electric blanket, but it's quite warm, so that's nice. And can you see what I've done? I have got some microfleece underneath here. So that's in the bottom, capillary matting, this is called, capillary matting. And I've sewn it, I've cut this to size. I'll show you how I bought it in a massive roll. And this is from Gardening Naturally. And all of my seed trays, I am going to line them with this. You can see it's kind of like, what does it feel like? It feels a bit like a fleece. It's capillary matting, a couple of mil thick, I'd suggest. And what this does is it means that your plants won't be sitting in water. I have this morning cut this piece to size and I have drenched it into a little pot of water, a little bowl of water, and then just wrung it out slightly and put it in. And it means that you're not kind of watering from above, which seedlings, I did it last year and I didn't get any damping off problems, but that is, if you're using one of these, that can be a bit of a problem, the whole damping off the seedlings. But there are other things to combat that as well. This being one, capillary matting, but I will talk you through some other ways of watering. What's also really good about this is if you go away, you can use this like a wick. So you just cut off a little strip here and you just put it underneath your capillary matting. Just move this along a bit here. And then put a bucket of water by it, and it will just constantly make sure that your seedlings are taking the water that they need, not too much. And it would just mean that your compost, your little trays, your little baby, little propagating units, they will always be quite damp because they're bringing up the water from below. Does that make sense? So that's what we've got going on here. So I'm just going to put them all back again. And then, should we do one together? Just going to see if you've got any questions so far. So that's that. And at the end, I've got something else that I'm going to show you, which is a naughty buy. But I think it's going to be brilliant. I'm super excited to show you. Holding fire on that one. So let me just see. Have you got any questions so far? Let's see. And then I'm going to show you a little surprise. So, okay, let's have a look. So, let's see your questions. Scott Spencer, can you grow... Let's have a look. Can you grow Bacabea in a pot and get it to grow over trellis and cut it back in late autumn? I can't see the whole question. And put it in the greenhouse for next year. Oh, I see what you mean. So you're wondering, if you've got Cabea in a pot, can you put it into a greenhouse and overwinter it? Yes, you can. And I understand that in London, and I probably nick the distinctive garden grows Cabea, wouldn't surprise me, it can actually just persist throughout the winter. And I actually haven't cut back the Cabea outside here because I'm just going to give it a chance and see if it will come back again because it's in a sheltered position. But I think you probably could get away with doing exactly that, Scott. So give it a go. Nothing lost in gardening, is there? Just lots and lots of learning. So, okay. Christina is asking a question. Hello from Sweden to you. Hello back to you. How long would you keep your seeds if you choose to keep them for later? Well, that's a good question. I'll come to it now because what I'm going to do is from Valentine's Day, I am going to start sowing some seed for myself. But the majority of seedlings, they do have, and you can see this one on the back of the king seed, they do have a kind of expiry date. So can you see there? It's back to front always for you, isn't it? But it says it was packed in the year end July 21 and sowed by September the 23rd. So those are the optimum seed sowing times. And some seeds, they will come up. And I grew a lot of out-of-date seed next year. Tomatoes especially were really good. But I would try and sow them just, you know, when they tell you to if you want to get results. Because there's nothing like being disappointed. And believe you me, I was disappointed quite a number of times last year. So let's just have another one. So, do you have to soak them? No, the Cabea, they do say, actually, Liz Mayer, some people do say soak them. I didn't last year. But what I did do, and I'm going to show you the Cabea seeds because I've already got those sown. They're in here. So, I'm going to show you how I've sown them. So, look. So, there's the Cabea. I've used vermiculite over the top. And what that is really good at, it just protects the little necks from damping off. And because I've got my capillary matting up, I'm not going to be sowing from above. And the other thing to be aware with these little heated propagators is many of them, and look out for these if you can. I'll take the lid off because I know what's going to happen with those. They're going to go flying. Can you see on the top? We've got this little kind of turny thing. And you can see that I can put my finger through there, but I can't obviously if it's closed. So that keeps them nice and snug. But if you start to get loads of kind of moisture in there, lots of driplets of moisture, it means they're too hot. So just make sure that you open that up or even take it off for a bit. And that will just make sure that they're not kind of getting too moist and rotting off. It's all about water from above. I was quite lucky last year, so don't get too paranoid about this, because honestly, it wasn't a problem for me. But if you read the books, and the plants often don't, that is a problem. So if it happens to you once, that's what's probably happened. But I didn't soak my cabea. But I will just show you some of these. But what I did do, can you see? Probably see better if I put some in my hand. Just put one in my hand. Can you see? Cabea seeds, they're flat, a bit like courgettes. So what I do is I sow them on their edge. So they go on their edge, not on their flat like that. Sow them so they're on their edge. So I did that. So I'll leave those in there, deal with those later. Can't forget what cabea seeds really look like, so that's quite good. So I can throw those over there. Right, so that's some questions. So we'll come and answer. I will come and answer some more. So yeah, I know the plants often don't read the catalogues, do they, or the books? But what is quite good, and I wonder how yours are doing, is, and I've just had these in the zippy greenhouse, is look at these. How are your Boxing Day sweet peas going? Look at those. They're getting a bit etiolated. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take them out of the zippy. Some of these were soaked, and I can see on the back because I labelled them, and some of them weren't soaked. Hasn't made the blindest bit of difference. They've all come up pretty much, whether they've been soaked or not soaked, so I shouldn't worry about that. But these, and we sowed these all together, didn't we, team, on the 27th of December. So they've come up in the zippy. And this is the reason why I have to be really careful. I don't have a greenhouse, and I don't have space for all these seedlings, so I'm going to be measured. But bear with me a tick, because, and we talked about this before, but look at this. This is my impromptu cold frame, and I brought this in last night because I knew we were going to have snow. But I'm just going to show you in here. I hope I don't knock this off the table. That would be a blooming disaster, wouldn't it? You're going out in the snow, Bert? Archie. So Gilbert's desperate to get back out there. But look, this is just one of those plastic boxes that you get from any DIY store, and we had a load sort of hanging around. This is my impromptu cold frame. So I'm using the lid. These are all poppies, actually. So I'm using the lid as my kind of seed tray. And again, I've lined this. You won't be able to see this. But I've lined this with the capillary matting again, so that they're not going to be sitting in water. And it just keeps them nice and kind of, damp, but not wet, if you know what I mean. Now, these seed trays were a little bit too big to fit the lid over the top. So what I did, I'm going to show you, is I just took the scissors and I just snipped them a little bit so they would just fit in. So these, I'm not going to put them out, I don't think, in the snow. That would be a bit mean. But I think they'd be okay because they are hardy seeds. So they're hardy seedlings. And the tougher you grow them, the better they'll grow. So that's going to go back on there. So look, just goes over the top. So just get it nicely there, snaps into place. And what you need to do is you just leave the lid slightly open, and that will just let airflow go through on hot days, and just put it in over the top nice and snug at night. So that's pretty good, isn't it? So anybody that doesn't have a cold frame, got any of these boxes, these are really tall, but they're just the ones that don't have to be this tall. They could be kind of that tall, but these were the only ones that we had. So, and waste not, want not. So I'll put those down. Right. So that's the impromptu cold frame. Now, shall we get to sowing a few seed together? Just want to look at some of your comments. Let's have a look. What comments have we got? Treat them mean and keep them keen, just like your men. Jules, would you agree? Just raised an eyebrow at me there. I've had to get my little light out so you can see it. This is my zoom light. You can see it in my glasses, look. So, yeah, you can feel a naughty spend coming on. I have some California poppy seeds to sow. Brilliant idea. So good. I'm glad you like that one. I'm literally doing this. So, you know, it's not that I'm just doing it to kind of say that I always show you what I'm actually doing. So, right, let's get this party on the road then. So, let's just do one together. So, I love these seed trays. These are, well, they're not seed trays really, these garden trays, because it means, it's a bit bright here, but it means you can just fill in compost in there. And it means you can garden wherever you like. So here we go. So we've got our little propagator unit there. And this, I don't like using seed compost. I just find it really heavy. So this is just my usual multi-purpose peat-free compost from Silvergrey. Just their multi-purpose, and I just fill it up. And then I found this brilliant tool. You're going to laugh your head off in a minute at the end of this when I show you what else I've got. But look at this tool. This came with a little bit of kit that I'm about to show you. And I thought, well, how naff and useless is that? Anyway, this morning I found it brilliant because what I've been doing is a tiny little rake. So it means I can just get the amount of compost that I want in here. And then I just tamp it down a little bit. Can you see? Just tamp it down with the back of the rake. You can use a spoon if you fancy, or a fork. But this has been really brilliant. So, because I can just get it. I'm not pressing this down very hard at all. So, not hard at all. So, but it just gives me a nice even layer. And can you see how much I've left at the side? And that's so I can get some vermiculite in there. So, that's the seed in there. And then what should we sow? Should we sow some of these patio aubergines? Let's do those. So I'm very neat and tidy. So, and sometimes seeds like this, they have those metal packets in there. I'm actually not very neat and tidy, but I am with my seed. But some of them don't. So what I like to do is I just use the scissors and I just cut the edge off. You're watching this, Bert, because Gilbert's watching us over here. So, because we're going to do some cress in a minute. We'll go out into the snow first, but we'll do some cress later. So I'm lucky, I've lucked out here because I do have one of these little packets in here. Because usually what I would do, and I think I've shown you this before, is I will just sellotape it up again if it hasn't got one of these handy little sort of packets inside. I've never seen an aubergine seed before, so we're doing something together for the very first time. So I cut that off, and I cut it off enough. Let's see, and then, oh, I'm so excited. I'm just going to put them in this little glass pot. So are we ready? Going to see aubergines together. They're tiny, they're absolutely weeny. So there's not very many in the packet, which is quite a good thing. They just look like tomato seedlings, actually. So there we go. So this one is the jackpot. So, and what I will do with these here is I'm just going to pop them in. I might use my pencil. Where's my pencil gone? Can't find my pencil because we need to do a label. Jules, can you just pass me a pencil? Or can you see it? Ah, there we go. Thanks, Jules. He's never around, on camera, but he's always around in the background helping us all out, isn't he, Jules? So, right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lick the end of my pencil. Is it going to work? Then I'm just going to pop them in. I'm going to try and evenly space these. I'm going to sow all of these because, as I say, there is hardly any in there. And I'll show you how far apart I'm sowing them in a tick. So how many have we got in here? We've got 9, which is a funny odd number, isn't it? 9. There might be another one in the packet. Let me just see. No, we have got, I'm just going to tear it right the way open. Oh no, here we go. Here's number 10. Number 11, in fact. So I'm going to just pop those in. So can you see them on the top of the surface there? So then I just use my pencil to just kind of move them around to where I want them to be. There we go. Can you see? So that's it. That's all nice. They're not kind of completely perfect. We're not as anal as that, but not too bad. And then what I will do is I'll just give a little bit like a... I remember Ainsley Harriott used to do this, didn't he, with his pepper, I think it was. He'd just sprinkle things over. So I'm just going to sprinkle very lightly some compost over the top of here. Very lightly, going to use my silly, funny little rake just to kind of tap it over. And then vermiculite. I swear by this. It's brilliant stuff. So I've got my big serving spoon here, and I literally will just, oh, do you know what I will do actually? Is I'll just give them a little spray bit now, because they're not seedlings, they're just seeds. And I like to just give them a little bit of a squirt of water just when I've just planted them. And then I put the vermiculite on the top. I don't think it would matter if I squirted the water on the top of the vermiculite, but it's just, you know, you get into a rhythm and a routine. And this is just the way that I do it. So there we go. So that goes on. I'm very liberal with it. I don't mind that at all. And then I'll just use, do you know what? I might use my little reiki thing again, just to kind of flatten it out. Give it a bit of a flatten, or my finger. There we go. So it's all nice and flattened. Oh, look at that. Looks almost good enough to eat, doesn't it? So, and what the vermiculite does, as I mentioned earlier, it will just kind of hold, give a little bit of support to the seedlings as they come up out of the ground, out of the compost. And it will also just create a little bit of a layer of just a gritty surface so that, you know, things are not prone to dampen off. And because of this lovely light colour, it will just bounce the light back to the bottom of the leaves. So you're kind of getting a huge, great sort of bonus for it. It's super cheap. So do, if you fancy, I do highly recommend it. Now, so I need to make a label now. So I'm using these, and these are the lollipop things. They're wood, so they're not plastic, but they're always too long. So I do enjoy a bit of tool abuse. So I just get my secateurs, chop it off, and then I'm going to lose this tray for the moment. Say goodbye to the funny little rake. Cute, isn't it? So that can go down on the ground. And then I find that pencil, and this is from having to write things down in the rain for years as a garden designer. What's the date, actually? I keep forgetting. 24th. January is flying by. So this one is aubergine, and not the Instagram aubergine, the vegetable aubergine. I know some of you will know what I'm talking about. So that goes in there. Put my little lid on, and I'm going to close it up for now. And on to my lovely little propagator unit it goes. So, last thing, this is going to make you laugh. I'm just going to move some of this stuff out of the way. Just move it all out of the way. But I'm going to keep on going with this. It won't take me very long to finish off the seeds, but Gilbert's desperate to get out, so we'll go in the snow first. We've still got some work to do. It's the last week of writing for the My Real Garden book. So Tamsin and I are a bit kind of, you know, going at it, if you know what I mean. So, and then this is why I am sewing now. Look at this. This is going to be driving some of you bonkers, I think. Look what I've got. Look what I have got. Can you see? I've got a grow light. Look at this. So this is a completely new thing on me. I saw Lucy Starr had one. And it seems like lots of people are buying these at the moment. So, and again, I just think that this will just help me just to get seeds growing a little bit earlier than usual. I've got my seeds now, my aubergines, all the things that are a little bit tricksy. Not sowing anything else until at least Valentine's Day. So these will just start these coming up and just give them that little extra bit of TLC for them. Now, this was just about 40 quid as well. So these things, they are an investment, but I'm going to use them and use them over years and years. What I like about this, I don't know if you can see this. This is where things start going flying, isn't it? I'm just going to put these are all kind of on bendy things. And actually where these seeds are going to go is just where I am sitting. This area here between the door and the table is like AMP seed growing central. I do feel a bit like a drug dealer having these, but I guarantee you this is just aubergines and snapdragons going on here. I'm just going to turn this around so you can see about this control, because I like this. Can you see here? It's got different colours on it. So, but actually, and blue, and they're supposed to do different things, but I did do a bit of internet research on it, and it just says you just use it with the full lights on it, because it's going to show, I don't want to give anybody any kind of problem. I don't know if you'll see, you've got different modes of light. One's white, one's red, and one's sort of all of them all on at the same time. But can you see here as well? It's got a timer. So you can put it on timer for 4 hours, 8 hours or 12 hours. So of course I'm going to have mine on 12 hours to start off with, but we'll see. And it also has got this little sort of strength thing, so your lights can go up and down in intensity. So this is going to be a little bit of an experimentation with me, but we'll have a go, because at the moment, so what I've got is I've got my, it's got a little sort of clippy thing on it, and I think you can get these with stands, but actually they were about 40 quid more. So this little stool my mum bought for me years ago. So, and it just means that I can move it around close to my seedlings. These are going on the floor until in the spring, this table at this end will be covered in seedlings as well as the zippy. So, and I will just experiment with how high and how low they can go. It's like an octopus's garden now, isn't it? So, so that's what we're going to be doing. So anything that's a little bit sort of testy, hopefully won't be misbehaving quite as badly as they might. So I'll just put all of this down on the ground. Then I'm going to come in and see. I'm sure lots of you have got questions. God, there's a lot of stuff everywhere here this morning. So I'm going to be really careful with this. Put this on the ground. This is the comedy moment, isn't it, where I trip, go flying, compost everywhere, new heated propagator broken. So let's just try to do this very carefully. As you know, I do like to go at things. So there we go. So hello, everybody. Nice to see you. So let's have a look. Cannabis farming. I'm like a DJ, MP. Do you know what? I think when people say to you, what would you have been if you weren't a gardener, a garden designer? I'd have quite liked to have been a DJ. I used to love club life back in my early years. So right, I'm going to your questions. So let's have a look. So what have you sown in your heated propagator so far? All I've got so far going, because we have been in the snow, is the aubergine and the cabea. But as I say, I'm going to grow another bit of aubergine, I'm going to shove some coriander in, maybe some basil and some antirrhinums, and I think that will be my 7 little pots just full up. That's good enough for me, so that's what I'm going to sow in there today. So what other questions have we got? Susie, whoa, how are you, gorgeous? How many cabea in the tray? That little tray there, I've got 8 cabea in there, seeds. So, and as soon as they start coming up, I'm going to treat them like queens, and I will be potting them up into the next size up and just treating them like absolute princesses, because those are my must-have climbers for this year. So let's have a look and see what else have we got. How do you keep so organised with all your bits? Do you have a shed? I tell you what, we're so not organised usually, but we've got a garage, and our garage is completely full of all sorts of stuff. I've got all pom pumps, which I refuse to let Jules throw away, because when the children have outgrown the trampoline, maybe 10 years' time, that is going to be a pond down there. And now I've got 2 shelves. We've got it racked out all the way down one side, and I've got 2 big shelves. And those are my propagating shelves. So, and I shall put everything back there neat and tidy. That's the plan, and let's just see how long it lasts. But, you know, we don't have a big garden. We don't have a greenhouse. We don't have lots of space. So it is a case of just make do and see what you can do and get on with it, really. Partridge Rita, where will you put the propagator? I'm going to put all down here in this gap. This is seed sowing alley. And then come the end of February, beginning of March, the end of my table just becomes absolutely covered in seeds. And of course, I'll keep on using the zippy outside. So that's a lovely question. So thank you for that one. Let's just have a look. Where did you get your cabea seeds from? Pip. Hello, Pip. How are you? So nice to see you. I've put them over here. They're Chiltern. I am a bit of a Chiltern massive fan. I love Chiltern seed. I love how all of their packaging comes completely paper, so there's never any kind of plasticky bits on it, even the delivery notes. And the seed packets are paper as well, so it can all go into the compost bin. So I'm a big fan of Chiltern seeds, I have to say. Right, let's have a look. Oh, this is a good question. Rally Sandy, is that better than heat mat? No, I don't think it is. It all depends on personal choice. So because I'm so limited for space here, this small heated propagator is by far the sort of better use of space, but you will have seen them. You can get heated mats, which are fantastic also, but I think they're good for greenhouses, or if you really can just let over, maybe we've got stainless steel worktops here, and it would be my dream to kind of just take over some of those, but with a family of 4, that's not going to happen. So yeah, do look into a heat mat as well. So if you prefer, I would do the same. So I've shown you my Boxing Day sweet pea, so that's that. Okay, and I think I've answered pretty much all of them. So let's have a look at your lovely comments, and then I think you should all go out for a play in the snow. So my pairs, you are Higgledy Seed and Chiltern and Sarah Raven. Me too, I like King Seed too, love Sarah Raven, have lots of her seed as well. I've got some seed this year from Sutton's and Mr Fothergill's. I'll just get them for wherever I feel that I can get them from, really. But I do love Chiltern because of their eco credentials, I must say. Frogwell Flowers, you said your Cabeya seeds were a disaster. What did you do wrong? I don't know, but I would sow them again now and just treat them a little differently, because it's all about learning, isn't it? So, and all your mistakes, they're not mistakes, they're just learning experience. So, oh, Shane and Jack, Make the World a Beautiful Place. Any book updates? Yes, I will tell you about the book. So this last week, we've got to get everything to our editor, the book editor. So Tamsin's been brilliant this week because it's been so hectic at work. We're just going through the final edits and making sure that everybody's in it. The thing that we're most concerned about is some people are featured really quite large, others in a smaller way because of picture quality, all of those sorts of things, and also questionnaire responsive. But oh my God, it's looking so good. I'm going to show it to Jules tonight. He hasn't seen it at all. We've got the front cover done. So that's actually now real photographs. So, well, we've got everything pretty much done. There's just a couple of pages that we just need to get together. I've got to look through about 50 more pictures this afternoon. So that will be a this evening job. And we're still on target, which is such good news, because the amount of time we've had to actually do the book has been really tight. You usually have a lot more time to get it together. But I think we're there. There's no problems. I don't have to kind of say to anybody, we're not going to make it. I think we will make it. We're absolutely on target. And that's why I love working with Tamsin. Both of us are so good at kind of deadlines. So we've always been self-employed, really, or Tamsin's been in charge of really supermassive publishing ships. So she couldn't be late with a monthly magazine with the English Garden, for example. And we've also got my friend Serena. I've pulled her in to help with the marketing. So if you hear from her, that's who she is. My friend Serena, she is doing all of our marketing for us. So yeah, so all good, all very, very good. So really exciting. You know, it's so lovely to read your message. Oh, and you're here, Tams. Nice to see you. The cover is awesome, isn't it? We've swapped out a few pictures here and there, and we'll keep on doing that. But yeah, it has been a big effort. But you know, I think Tamsin and I would both say to you that it's been an absolute joy as well. I mean, work is hard at the moment. Life is hard. We're all of us not sleeping that brilliantly, are we? And worrying about what's here and now and what's going to happen in the future. But every time Tamsin and I pick up that book, it is such a joyous thing. But please don't be upset if you're only in it very small. Everybody is in it, and everybody is mentioned, and we love all of you. And I tell you what, even if you're not in the book, I challenge you not to enjoy reading it. I mean, my word, everybody's stories are fascinating, and the love for your gardens just shines through. And there's gardens from all over the world, all different sizes, all different styles. It is absolutely, Jane, Dolly Bird, JJ, it is joy, joy, joy. And it looks colourful and bright and vibrant and gorgeous, and just like I think it's a really good reflection of us. I really do. So we're delighted with it. So yeah, so we're hoping to launch still on March the 23rd. So we're hoping that we can get everybody's copies to them by then. So cross your fingers for us, because it will all be kind of down to packaging them up. We're literally going to be packing them up at our kitchen tables and sending them out to you, getting the kids involved and our other halves. So it literally is so what's it going to be called? My Pears is asking. My Real Garden. That's exactly what it's called. So because that's where it all started, isn't it? So yeah, Eliza, it is just what we need. It really is something to look forward to. Tanya's saying, I wish I'd filled in that big form. Me too. But also, honestly, there's a lot of pages in, a lot of people in a few pages. But you know what we have done? We have been a bit naughty. And Tamsin and I, we did decide to make it a tiny bit bigger. So, it's we just thought we went over the target. So we have made it a tiny bit bigger. So you're getting more bang for your buck, which is good. So we couldn't resist it. So it is just a few pages bigger. So yes, it is available to the US shipping. So yep. So, and you can buy it only until the 1st of February as a pre-order. So, and after that, we're going to have to shut it down for a while, just so that we can make sure that we're getting ready for the big launch on March the 23rd. So super exciting. So yeah, maybe volume 2, The Gardens of Umi. Let's see how it goes. It really is looking amazing. So I think that is it. Pip, good thing. So yeah, if you are very local, I'm very happy for you to come and pick them up from the doorstep or from the office or wherever we are on March the 23rd. So that would be great. So yeah, it's a bit like Encyclopedia Britannica size. It's about, I can't remember the actual dimensions, but it's about this big, but it's on super lovely paper, super glossy, super colourful, high print. Honestly, me and Tamsin, every time we look at it, we have never seen anything like this before. Absolutely, as you would hope for. So, right, good. I think I should let you get on. Snow time. Absolutely, Eliza. So, have a really fab afternoon. Get sowing just a few seeds. Leave everything else until Valentine's Day. And, yeah, I'm off for a snowball fight. All love to you. Big kiss.